everyone, I'm Ankita Pokharel. In today's session, we're going to learn the reading and grammar part for the unit Giving Reasons. Let's begin the class now. So let's begin with the first reading part of Giving Reasons. And the reading section is about the golden goose. There was once a man who had 3 sons. The youngest was called Simon. People rarely listened to him because they thought his ideas were not very good ones. One day, the eldest son of the man wanted to go into the forest to cut wood. His mother gave him a fine big cake and a bottle of apple juice. In the forest, he met a little old man who said, "Give me a small piece of the cake you have in your bag. I'm so hungry." But the clever son answered, "I shall eat my cake myself, and I shall drink my juice myself," and walked away. When he started to cut down a tree, his axe slipped and cut his arm. He had to go home and could not work for a long period of time. The next day, the second son went into the wood, and his mother gave him a sweet cake and a bottle of apple juice. The old man met him too. He asked for a small piece of cake and mouthful of juice. The boy also said, "I shall eat my lunch myself." He left the little old man and went away. Very soon, the second son cut his leg so badly that he had to go home. Then said Simon, "Father, let me go into the forest and cut wood." His father answered him, "Your brothers cut the wood themselves. You understand nothing about wood cutting. I think you must not try." But Simon insisted so much that finally his father said, "Well, go if you like." To Simon, his mother gave a small loaf of brown bread and a bottle of water. The little old man met him in the forest and said, "Give me a small piece of the cake you have in your bag, because I am so hungry." Simon answered, "I have only a small loaf of bread and some water, but let's eat together." So they sat down under a tree. As Simon took out his food, the small loaf of brown bread turned into a big sweet cake, and the water became delicious juice. So they ate and drank together. Then the little man said, "As you have a good heart, I want to help you. Cut that tree and you will find something." And the man went away. Simon cut the tree and found a golden goose inside. He was very happy. Next morning, Simon took the goose under his arm and went out. He said to himself, "I shall see a little of the world before going home." At last he came to a city. There ruled a king with the only daughter who was so sad and had been bored for a long time. The king had promised that whoever could make her happy will marry her. When Simon heard this, he went with his golden goose to see her. The princess was so happy because the golden goose was so beautiful. The king was very glad too. Simon married the princess and lived happily ever after. So this is a story where we learn that kindness leads to happiness. Whatever we have, we need to share it with others so that our happiness also gets multiplied. You never know what is waiting for you in your luck. So here we have some exercises to do related to the text that we have just read. Let's try doing it together. Number A. Match the words in column A with their meanings in column B. Eldest. Eldest means oldest or first. Wood. An area of trees. Axe. A tool for chopping wood. Loaf. Piece of bread. Goose. A large water bird. Promise. To give your word. And finally, glad means to be happy or pleased. So we are done with the matching of the words. Exercise B. Complete the sentences below with the following words. The eldest son went to the forest to cut wood. Let's mark it. The The little old man asked for a piece of bread because he was so hungry. The second son also dashed his leg badly, cut his leg badly. Simon's mother gave him a piece of dash and dash, piece of bread and water. The little old man turned the bread into a big sweet cake. The golden goose helped Simon dash the princess, marry the princess. So, it was fun reading the text and it was fun doing the exercise together. Now, it's your turn to work. Here, as you see, are 6 questions given on the screen and you need to read the text to answer them all in your own words. So this one's your assignment. So here we have an email written by Neil to Priti. Let's read it out and let's try to understand it together. Dear Priti, thank you so much for welcoming me to Nepal last week. It was a very special visit. I loved spending time with you. I enjoyed many things during my stay. I loved the scenery because I saw lots of huge mountains. I enjoyed the food because it was spicy and tasty. I liked the people because they were amazing, friendly, and helpful. Your culture was so different to mine in the UK because you have lots of traditions. There were 2 things that surprised me. The roads scared me a little because they were very busy with cars, motorbikes, and people. The second thing that surprised me was how cold it was in the house where I stayed. The room was cold, but it didn't have any heating system. I would definitely visit Nepal again because it was the best holiday I have ever been on. Kind regards, Neil. So, overall, this email is a thank you note from Neil to Priti after his visit to Nepal. Let's write it down. What is this email about? It's a thank you note from Neil to Priti. Neil is from UK and Priti is from Nepal. And Neil is writing to Priti after he has visited Nepal. And it was Priti who had welcomed Neil from UK. So Neil here expresses his gratitude for Priti's hospitality and shares his positive experiences during his stay. Gratitude means to be thankful, right? So he's expressing his gratitude for the hospitality that Priti had given him. In the email, he highlights the beautiful scenery, delicious food, and friendly people. What does he highlight? Next, he also mentions 2 things that surprised him. What were the 2 things that surprised him? The busy roads and the cold weather inside the house, right? But despite these minor surprises, Neil thoroughly enjoyed his trip and he says that he would definitely visit Nepal again. So here's an assignment for you all students. Write an email to your friend sharing an experience of one of your trips. In the email, write what you enjoyed or disliked about your trip. Okay, take a hint of what Neil had written to Priti and try to mention things that you had an experience, okay? How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.